blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody, man? Welcome to the fifth episode of the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge, hosted by me, Paul Cram the Poet, and my co-host who won't be joining us tonight. Y'all just keep her in your prayers, Imuna J. Now, the episode that we have for you guys tonight, y'all in for a doozy, man. We have a poet she's more than a poet to me. She's more than a friend. She's a guardian angel, man. Dark times of my life, she was there. When people turned their back on me, she was there. So this particular poet is someone I hold like top tier type artist. Feel me? So let me go ahead and introduce y'all really quick, give you a proper introduction of this phenomenal artist, Miss Jerica J. Franklin. Jerica J. Franklin is a spoken word poet and author from Alexandria, Louisiana. She started her craft at the age of 8. However, she was never certain of the form of writing she was creating. As a young child, she suffered from a mild speech impediment called cluttering, which made her extremely uncomfortable reading aloud and verbally communicating with others. After the death of her mother at the age of 10, she found poetry to be a vital coping mechanism. Instantly, due to various school teachers, her poems and short stories were entered into a multitude of contests for young writers. Being that Jay's first love was music, it was no surprise when she transitioned into songwriting. She didn't seriously pursue sharing her work until 2016, but since then, she's developed her brand as an artist by creating her social media following called Jangwich Arts. With assistance from her mentors, Jamie Yoga Bay Flournoy and Shakandria Icon Sibley, she has been exposed to many local events within Central Louisiana and beyond. She's been a feature in Lost in Reality Words Over Wine 2, Festival of Words, Word Crawl, Future 106, Rhythm and Rhymes, Ignite the Mic, and many other events in the area. She's hosted her own open mic poetry series called The Circle. Nurturing her various gifts, she's found ways to incorporate her love for singing and theatrical mannerisms into her live spoken word performances. Her work is most known for its signature flow and Jay's gentle linguistic tone. She's published her first book in January 2023 entitled Words for Wings, a collective of poems describing pivotal moments of her young life. Her upcoming word album and book are both entitled To the Lovers I've Loved Before, a poetic memoir of her lessons in love. After her personal unfortunate circumstances, she prides herself in being a voice for the many young people society strays away from. The greatest purpose of her art is to advocate for those who have been ridiculed due to their background, financial status, sexual orientation, religious beliefs, mental illness, and all things that are created to hinder fighting the odds. She is constantly rooting for the underdog of the world. Her mission in poetry is to be frank at all times. Everybody knows her as that, but I know her as Jay. Everybody, please welcome to the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge, my friend, my motivation, Miss Jerica J. Franklin.
I'm telling you, you are going to have to get paid for that introduction. Oh my God.
Man, it is. Oh, it's an honor to have you here. I know you have such a busy schedule, but I am truly blessed beyond measure that you have taken some time out to join us here at the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am good. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, it's the
And it got
pleasure's all mine.
me. I'm just happy to still be remembered.
Oh yeah, you're truly unforgettable. So let's go ahead and get into the meat of things. You said you have the upcoming word album, Lovers I've Loved Before. Let's start
Yeah.
right there. Explain the motivation for that.
Um. So the lovers I loved before, uh, it was really important to me to get so much out there. So I decided to write the book and also put out my first spoken word album entitled the same. So everything you don't get in the book, you get in the album, and vice versa. Um, like you said, it's a collective of pieces of my love poems from the most significant romantic connections in my life. Um, it's my confession, my apology, my um, everything. It's closure. It's yeah. It's all the things I probably never got to say. So yeah, it's everything.
That that's what's up. Y'all definitely got to get me a copy, man, because I can only imagine. Like I can only imagine.
I'm not that bad, talk fan.
No, no, and I'm gonna go ahead and let that be known. I'm not saying nothing bad about her. Promise you, I'll never say nothing bad about her, and won't let you say nothing bad about her. But I know my friend, and I just so I wanna read it. I wanna read it bad. Oh man. So as far as like writing and performing, so you have your book and you have the album entitled the same. What do you feel that you enjoy more? Is it writing for publication or is it writing for performance?
Mm, that's hard. And the reason why I say that's hard because you know how long I've been performing now at Park Cram. It's been almost 10 years. And I must say, I am in a place now to where I have to write uh, for what moves the crowds too. It moves me, but I love to write relatable things. I love to write about relatable experiences in whatever form. Um, but I must say, probably writing for performance right now. Yeah, I think that's what I love. I love to see the actual reactions from the crowds. Um,
Mm.
Whenever I spit certain pieces, I love that interaction. So it's beautiful.
I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna be straight up with you. Like I've read some of your pieces and I've heard you spit those same pieces, and they hit me differently when you spit them.
Oh,
Like like reading your work, and especially knowing you. So I'm really at a real disadvantage with that, with
uh,
knowing you. So it's like I'll read it. Like if you sent something to my inbox was like, hey Paul Cram, check this out. And I'm like, all right, and I read it. That's why I always hit you back and be like, hey, record that and send it again. Because it's
yes, yes.
because it's like the way that you write and the way that you spit, it can't be duplicated. And I try in my head as I'm reading and I try to sound like you in my mind. I'm like, this is not working. Like,
Oh man,
this is,
that is everything. Just to know that you attempt to is everything to me. So
yeah, you're
I try
phenomenal.
to I try to impersonate you myself.
Oh man, honored. Now, you mentioned in the introduction, I mentioned two names in this introduction
Mm,
that are two very powerful women in poetry,
yeah.
and you three connected is like a natural disaster. Like it just don't stand in their way. Like and there's three different styles.
Yeah.
You know, it's three different styles, but it all mesh perfectly.
Yeah.
So would you say that you guys, and shouts out to Icon and Yoga Bay, shout out to them, phenomenal women.
Yeah.
Would love to get both of y'all on this show as a unit. All three of you, Bone Thug and Poetry. I still remember this. But
wow, back right there.
But like with you three, all right, do you feel that in that unit, which is so cohesive, that you guys bounce off each other, that you learn from each other? And if that's the case, what have you learned from the amazing Yoga Bay and Icon?
Oh my gosh, I've learned so much from them. For one, you know, like I say all the time, anytime I have these interviews, Damn Bay, Yoga Bay, always says she be like, girl, you give me too much credit. I ain't do all that. But she did. She taught me about my delivery and about being comfortable in my own tone. You know, when I first came on the scene, I was surrounded by different poets who delivered in a more intense way, a more
you know, petty.
You know, they were everything that I wasn't at the time, and I was like, who's gonna hear me, you know? And it took for Jamie to tell me, like, no, your tone is everything. Your words are moving enough, so you don't have to do all that. That's not your niche. Like, that's not you. And keep it just like that. And I thank God that I got that advice, because it's given me some great opportunities. I've had the pleasure of stepping into some interesting rooms and meeting some interesting people due to that. Icon gave me the inspiration to also utilize my voice. A lot of people don't know, but music is my first love. And it took a rhythm and rhyme show, this girl at the time with a dope haircut, getting on the mic talking about and if you've been to rhythm and rhymes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I would listen to Con, and she go, all I got. And that's how she would start off her poems. And I saw the way she was able to use both of her gifts in one. And that was so inspiring to me. So a lot of people don't know, but when you hear me sing at the beginning of many of my pieces, that's where I got that from. So yeah, shout out to
man.
that.
But yeah. big shout out to Con. I remember the first time, and this is a story that I don't know if she's ever told you, but it was so funny when everything played out. So when I first heard Con spit, I was infatuated with her immediately. It was like mesmerizing, you know. So I remember bragging to my auntie about her, and I was like, "Man, it's this beautiful chick. She do poetry. I'm gonna try to get at her." Like, blah 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 blah. So my aunt Shavita Thomas, she was like, "Who are you talking about?" So when I told her, she fell out laughing. I really felt some type of way, because I already felt like I wasn't in her league, but I'm gonna try it anyway, you know. And when she hit me with the down the line, we related type of shit, I was like, for real? I hit Con up as soon as I could, and we talked about it, and the words that came out of her mouth was so funny. She said, "Oh man, Paul Cram, abort mission." I fell out. Like, it was just like, what? Man, but Con is one of those people who's she's so honest. If you don't want an honest opinion about your work, don't bring it to Con.
Yes.
You know? And I love that about her.
I love the fact that when I first started, they really took me under their wing, and they would take me to Lafayette to perform at shout out to Poetic Soul 337.
Lyrically inclined.
Lyrically inclined, yes.
Lyrically inclined.
And so they would take me out there to, just spit my pieces. And I got so much love, and I built my confidence on the mic there. I think that's why I always tell everybody Lafayette feels like home to me. Many times, as far as artistically, people always wonder, like, why I never see you perform in Alexandria enough, or why you always out there? But it was because that was where I was taken, outside of Rhythm and Rhymes, which is my home stage. That's where I was taken, and that's where I was embraced. And I really got that start from them, so yeah.
Yeah, man. Rhythm and Rhymes, man. Alexandria Museum of Art. Like,
yes.
God, man, those were some special, those, believe it or not. All right. So as far as spitting in Alexandria, Rhythm and Rhymes was the first time I've ever spit in front of people in Alexandria. Like, I've spit in Houston, Shreveport, but Rhythm and Rhymes was that was what it was. Like, I didn't care what was going on. I had to be there.
Yeah. I think it's really, really important that when we talk about the art community in our city, that we really do our research and pay homage to where homage is due, where credit is due. And honestly, when it comes to poetry in this area, that was started with Damn Bay, Yoga Bay. That was started with, Rhythm and Rhymes, Mosaic Dialect.
Mosaic Dialect.
So we can never forget to give that credit and acknowledge them in whatever we do, because it really shows the growth of our city, and it shows that none of us just got here. You know what I'm saying? Poetry is not new to Alexandria. Yeah.
So for the people that's listening, it's gonna be some things that Jerica's gonna say that you're gonna catch me snickering and laughing about, because I hear some of the underlining and I know what they mean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's a couple things that gonna be said, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I heard that, I caught that one. But she's right. Poetry's been in Alexandria for such a long time. There's a bunch of artists, and what was bothering me in Alexandria is I honestly believe if it wasn't for the icons, Earth Eagles, honestly, Stanza, like I wouldn't have known anybody as far as poetry goes. Like, I wouldn't have known nothing. I felt like I was the only male in Alexandria writing poetry until I started meeting people.
Yes.
And it was like, damn, there's some poets out here.
I can definitely remember my first time actually trying to put my work out and not knowing exactly how to go about that. And, I thank God for, having that avenue at the museum to actually spit. And one of the, honestly, a lot of people don't think about it, but I used to hang out downtown all the time, and that's how I met so many different artists at Tamp and Grind. You remember Tamp and Grind?
Tamp and Grind, yes.
So I was able to meet, Charles Ward, and I would go and I would see Keanu playing the guitar, and I would run into classmates and painters and all these different people, and it let me know that I really was in a place where what I was doing wasn't so abnormal after all. It wasn't so uncommon as I thought. I was just going to the wrong places. So when I finally got wind of that, it was everything. So, yeah.
Man, Tamp and Grind. Shout out.
Yeah.
That was my first ever coffee house that was actually a coffee house, like the shit you see on TV. Like that was, man, it was a real coffee house. Like, man, there's people outside on computers drinking coffee. Like, this is the shit you see on TV, like living single scenes and shit. Like, it's just, but it was such a dope spot, man. It was a dope little spot. So your book, tell us about the let me go back to it. I'm sorry. Tell us about the book that you've already written.
So there's Words for Wings, which was my first. Words for Wings was basically about my upbringing, my childhood. It's my story in the most poetic form. It's the story of not only me but my family. My parents. I dedicated that book to my parents, who are now both deceased. So the first chapter is called The Journey to Stephanie. Stephanie was my mother's first name. And the second chapter is The Art of Sebastian. Sebastian was my father's middle name, Napoleon Sebastian. So that was my way in, really honoring them. And I put out pieces that were really close to my heart, really personal. I dedicated poems to different people in my family, my uncles, who were like my fathers, my great aunt, who is just everything that a woman should be to me, and my grandmother, Lady Greenleaf, as I call her, who raised me after my mother passed. I really did get that experience to finally say the things that were so important to say. I got to honor my people in the best form possible, in the only way that I could honor them, and that was through art. So I'm so happy I got that experience, and that was what Words for Wings was honestly about.
So would you consider your writing to be, because I know for me it is, would you consider your writing to be therapeutic?
Most definitely. As you read in my bio, coming up, I had a speech impediment, and I was a very sensitive child, very sensitive. I kept a lot of things in. I think, honestly, I'm a sensitive adult. So thank God for poetry, because, gosh, I don't know how else I would express myself. So I thank God that I was given the art, the gift of pen and paper. And it has allowed me to release things, to birth things that I never thought I would, So I'm proud of myself for that alone, if nothing else.
If not for poetry, like I know for me, if not for poetry, I really don't know what my survival rate would have been.
Man, no one talks about that, but that is so true. That is so true.
Like, it's that between making a decision between grabbing my pen or grabbing my gun, and I had to use one of these.
Yeah.
The choosing of the pen, is like, people don't realize how much of a struggle. Like, that was an actual battle for me.
Yes.
And like a real battle. But I remember on days like that, and like you would just hit me up randomly. I remember I was going through something. I was living in Pineville, and I was going through a lot, and I started shutting people down, started shutting people out, and you popped up and cooked, man. Like, I remember.
Oh gosh, you remember that? Wow.
Yeah, because it was, the food was great, like definitely was great, but it was the fact that somebody took time out their day to worry about my well-being. at a time when I didn't give a fuck about my well-being.
Yeah.
You know, that meant a lot to me. So I'm forever in your debt for that. Like that was true love, true friendship. Like that was something that was incredible to me.
I think I'm only able to be there because I've been there. I hope I said that right. Poetry was truly the thing that saved my life when I wanted to end my life. I remember praying, like real life praying to God at 22 years old. Like, what am I doing here? I was going through so much. And I did not know why I was here. And I wondered, and I kept praying to God, and I told God, I need you to reveal my purpose to me and what I'm supposed to be doing on this great big planet of ours, or I don't want to be here. I remember saying that, and it was so sincere. You know, I really was in that place where I did not want to be here because I did not know exactly why I was here. And it wasn't until I started putting out my poetry. Thank God for my boy best friend, King Hayes. I would read my work to him, and he would go, somebody else got to hear this. And I'm like, well, where and why? And, you know, and he finally, you know, convinced me to. At the time, I didn't have a car, okay? I didn't have a car, and I had a half-ass job, okay? I would go to open mics with $2 to my name. And, yeah, I was really living in the trenches. At that time, I thank God, you know, I still had a place to stay and whatnot, but I was really down, and it was poetry that put me in so many great positions that I've had the pleasure of being in. King used to take me to my shows. Yeah. Man. Until I got a car.
No, keep talking.
Yeah. Like when I think about that, and that means everything to me. He used to take me to all of my shows until I got a car. And between him, Damn Bay, Icon, yeah. You know, that's how I would get around. I would be.
That's a support system.
Oh my God. Man, but favor ain't fair, you know? Favor ain't fair.
Favor ain't fair.
Yeah.
But you know what? But you put the work in though. So everything that you getting, excuse me, everything you getting, you deserve. Like you are a hard working poet. Like I hear the saying starving artist a lot. But you don't have to be a starving artist. Like you just gotta work hard. And you have to put in the work.
I am a Starbucks artist. I always yeah, when people say that, when they say I'm a starving artist, I'd be like, I rebuke that in Jesus' name. No, I am a thriving artist. You know, I do believe that whenever you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, God has a way in supplying everything and everybody you will need to get in position to do what you're appointed to do. And that's my story for me. So it wasn't about the money. It wasn't so much about people knowing me. It was about getting something that was on the inside out there. And hopefully it touched somebody else. So poetry is my ministry. I'm so happy that people know me and know me for what I do. I enjoy the accolades and whatnot. I really do. But nothing touches me like hearing that I touched somebody with a piece that, you know, like, man, you said my story. So I'm proud of that more than anything.
That's dope. Man, I'm glad everybody's here around there enjoying the incredible Gerald J. Franklin. Right now, we're at the midway point. I'm getting ready to bring Veep up, and he's going to introduce us to the Blast Music Artist of the Night. What's good, Veep?
What's going on, guys? I'm loving everything I'm hearing. Positivity and all that stuff. Welcome, everybody. The blast artist tonight is my man Hakeem Romance, and this song is called I Heard. Let's check it out.
Looking for me, asking all sorts of questions, second guessing. Well, you done found me, babe. What's it gonna be? You something need. Come over here, get you what you need. You been talking that shit all day. I'ma let you have your way. Show me what you're about, baby. Shouldn't be much more to say. So here we are, we got time alone. Baby, come on. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me, yeah. Thickest secrets and Fenty, many options to pick from. Sensing your sweet aura, is that Dior? I can't choose, I choose you. You know I love all of them. But what's the point of it all? I'ma rip them off anyway. You been talking that shit all day. I'ma let you have your way. Show me what you're about, baby. Shouldn't be much more to say. So here we are, we got time alone. Baby, come on. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me, yeah.
Yes, indeed. That's my boy Hakeem Romance with I Heard. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian that's looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. The Blast is also looking for the fans of music. So if you're a fan of great music, you can also go to blastmusic247.com, register as the unlimited fan, and have access to hundreds and hundreds of independent music. Blast, we're constantly changing the industry, one artist at a time. All right, guys, back to y'all.
Welcome back, everybody, for the second half of the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge, where tonight we are featuring the phenomenal Jerica J. Franklin. For those of you who caught the first half of the show, I kept telling her thank you for interrupting her busy schedule to spend an hour with me, man. But I don't think y'all understand what I mean by busy schedule. So just hear me out real quick. So we got June 3rd through the 5th, Elevate Fine Arts Academy of Sinla Creative Writing Workshop. That's going to be at the Red Peace Parish Main Library in Alexandria, Louisiana. June 8th, Sinla Pride Fest, Alexandria, Louisiana. June 15th, Red Peace Parish Library, Author of the Month for the book To the Lovers I've Loved Before. There's going to be a book signing and a workshop at the Red Peace Parish Main Library, Alexandria, Louisiana. June 15th, Bring Justice to My Rhyme, presented by Soul Lab Soulful Saturday. Yes, we cannibal. That's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. June 23rd, Grown and Saxy, Brass Room, Lafayette, Louisiana. For booking, you go hit Janguage Arts. That's JANGUAGEARTZ @gmail.com. I ain't gonna put a number up like that there, but I'll let y'all hit her up. But that's what I'm saying by busy. Like she's constantly on the move. What's good, man? Constantly on the move. So I'm gonna ask for her to let y'all know why this artist is always busy, and bless everybody with one of her pieces.
Oh man, I forgot when you said I would do that. But you know, I'm a PK, so you know, I'm obedient and I just come on, you know. So actually I got a piece that I've never done before. But I don't mind putting it out. So yeah. That's I'm honored. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I caught him sleeping on the kid that got insomnia. Like, I'm not the protege of Dambe and Shikandri. I get on the stage and wordplay, create the drama. I'm a poet. I'm a problem. Watch your tone because I'm your mama now. Hate to do it, but the people need the history. I was writing when onomatopoeias was a mystery. Numbers rise like gas prices every time you mention me. Been igniting the mic. That's why you got to pay to feature me. Hate repeating shit, but I enjoy a good epistrophe. Used to ride the city bus to write in Central Drug and Eat. Ego ain't the issue. I just paid the dudes assigned to me. So even when I walk alone, it's given Deuteronomy. Let them have a moment. Now imposters on the run for me. Heard the facts, not thinking shots, but I ain't bring a gun with me. I'm just a J. I'm just a juice. I'm from the boot. I get you loose. So even the who flee from me, they gonna put this on the beat. Stuck on the beat.
Super J strikes again. Oh man. When did you write that piece?
Oh man, I must have wrote that. Hell, I don't know when I wrote that, but it came up out of nowhere, you know. And yeah,
that was dope.
You know, I've always had the ability to write a poem in about 30 minutes, 20 minutes even, and and it just come out how it come out. So yeah.
You man, look. So I remember the only time I could ever remember where I felt like I wanted to tell you to leave me the hell alone.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
When I say one of the greatest things I've ever asked of you was also one of the dumbest things I've ever asked of you was for you to get on me when you see me slacking. Mm-hmm. And you took that so literal. Like I remember you was telling me about a piece and you was like, yeah, I want you to do this. I'm like, all right, cool. Like 15 minutes later, you was like, you got your piece? I was like, wait, what?
Oh man.
You're like, come on, Paul Cram, put that pen in your hand and keep going. I was like, whoa, wait, I don't know how to do that. She's like, I'm gonna hit you. 10 minutes later, I'm like, I'm almost done.
Yes. No, because I've seen you in your element before, and though you say it's quite different for you, but I've seen you whenever you get into your creative mode and you get to writing. I've seen it come about. I know the magic that you've always been able to create. So I pride myself in being a person who's gonna push you. If I'm in your life, I'm gonna push you to your greatest peak. You know, your highest peak. That's what I feel my purpose is. My job is as your friend, as anything. You know. And yeah, and I ain't sorry for that. So, you know,
that's what's up. No, I'm not sorry for it either. Like So it's actually prepared me for things like that. There's this phenomenal poet by the name of Mojave,
Mm-hmm.
and Mojave is short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to find myself, I had to get into that mindset of being able to do that. So I gotta credit you for giving me some type of practice.
Oh, well,
So
you're welcome.
oh. So what challenges do you find as being a spoken word artist, or what challenges do you or obstacles do you feel like you face during the like getting booked and things of that nature? Or are there
Ooh,
any?
ooh, oh yes. Listen, oh, I'm glad you said something. Um, I faced many challenges. And I think my greatest challenge in this would be the bookings where, and I'm sure many poets can relate to this. Um, I get called on to do some of the weirdest jobs. I get called on to do poems about crazy, very strange things, and people think that you're a robot, you know. People hear, oh my gosh, you're such a great writer, you're such a great poet. Surely you can write this for me, or you can write this for this person that you don't know. Um,
Uh,
you can make them your muse and whatnot, and you can write this long, intimate piece about things that have nothing to do with me or my experiences. Um, some jobs I'm able to take, and I I'm finally in a place where I'm comfortable with the jobs that I'm not. You know, I used to be very uncomfortable with saying no when it came to, like I said, the things that I could not do, that I had a hard time writing on. But now I confidently and comfortably say no, and because my art is my art, and even though it's a business now, and I'm grateful for that, you know, status. At the end of the day, I'm gonna write what moves me, you know, and I know that many artists face that, having to pop shit out of thin air, and we can't, you know, everything don't move everybody. I know everything don't move me. And so when it doesn't, I'm in a place now where I can be honest with you and tell you, yeah, no, she's not gonna write on that.
See, lads, I went through that when I was doing frames. Like when I was a while back, I was doing frames, and I've written pieces that I was not proud of, pieces that I didn't like, but I just didn't have the confidence to just say, you know what, I can't do that, and I put work out there for pennies based on just me not being able to say no, but my have things changed.
Yeah,
Like saying no is not only easy for me, it's liberating. Like it's
it
like
is.
no without an explanation. Like
I think the
no.
biggest thing is, and that's why I say I cannot keep speaking life into that phrase starving artist, because that's not where I'm trying to be. And I believe that so many of us as artists, we're so hungry for opportunities, and this is how many of us do feed our families.
Mhm.
Some of us really strictly get paid off of poetry, off of our art, and people know that, and people will take advantage of you. Another thing that I have a big issue with is poets are the most underpaid and
Mm.
undervalued artists that you will ever meet. People will pay everybody else, but they they question paying a poet. And when you give them your price, they have every every issue in the world with it. And for a long time, I used to be hesitant when I would give my price to people, or I would drop it down for people because I was just so humbled that they thought of me, And it wasn't until somebody tapped me on the shoulder, someone again we're both familiar with, and said, "Jay, they playing with you. Jay, you realize the thing you doing?" I'll be honest. I had to host a workshop one day, and I was hosting a workshop, and I was told that the organization was small, and they couldn't afford to pay out like that, And so at the time, I was just so humbled that they would ask me, because I thought quite highly of them. And the trouble with thinking so highly of things and people is many times we become, or we move like we are unaware of ourselves and our own value. And I let them undercharge me, So I was promoting the event. I was, getting all my materials for the event and hosting the event. I mean, everything that the event consisted of, I was doing under their name, and I got paid for it, but I did not get paid what I was worth at all. And at the time, being a young artist, they knew that. They knew that. And they knew that it would be easy to just get me to fall in at that time and still get what was beneficial for them. And I don't regret doing those things, because some things, it's not about the money. It's not, but it is about the simple fact that when you get to where we are, this is a business now. You have a brand now, and just like everybody else needs funding, so do we. And this is labor. This is hard work. This is hard work, and this is hard work. So
speak on it. Speak on it.
So now the price is the price, and yeah,
it is what it is. Like I don't. It's funny to me, because when you have people who enjoy the art but are not in that, they enjoy to hear it, they enjoy to read it, but don't really realize how much time and effort and emotions that goes into it. I bleed on my pieces. Even my erotic pieces is like, man, I bleed. Like it's like it's crazy.
I tell people all the time, I don't think that people understand all the emotions and trauma that artists have to go through to gift you with this. To the lovers I loved before, how many times I had to get my heart broken to write them poems. You know how much, I had to be disappointed, how back and forth I had to go, because I'm not moved often. I'm not moved often by much or many. But I had to go through some very hard experiences for me to give those poems. And when I sit at different shows, I always say, y'all pay $5, $10 to $20 to hear all my business, and I don't even know some of y'all names. Ain't that something? That's my job. That's my ministry. That's
real.
I gotta go in and feel everything that I have to feel, and feel bad and whatnot, just to make you feel good. Ain't that something? Ain't that about a bitch? So, that's where I'm at, and that's why I don't mind now. Standing on my prices, standing on what I require. When it comes down to the most intricate details, what promo pictures you're able to use me. I don't let everybody use every picture of me. You can't even post anything of mine without, you know, going, running it past me first. We have to really talk about that. That means everything to me. My name, my brand, my art, it's everything. So I'm very, very careful now, you know.
I don't blame you. Yoga Bay say Jay is $1,000 poet. Respected. Period.
You better tell them
Now,
about
now, for those of you who don't know Yoga Bay, I'm gonna tell you like this. Don't let the little pretty face, the little smile,
it.
don't let that don't let none of that shit fool you. She meant that shit,
I
and
promise,
she coming 10 toes down behind that one.
I promise you I'm a nice one. We always have this run-in joke. I always say, you know, Jamie, such and such asked me to do this and whatnot, and she'll go, you see, they ain't never come with me with that. You know why, Jay? Because they knew better. Everything about me say no. And he goes, hi. And, you know, I will say that is something else that I learned, you know, from, you know, having a mentor. Having a mentor is so important if you want to grow in anything. And I'm so happy to have mine still. And, you know, running things past someone has allowed me the ability to understand when I'm really getting played. And so, you know, Jamie is very straightforward, and, you know, you become who you surround yourself with. And so I've learned a little piece, and I became really straightforward myself as far as my business goes. Yeah.
We got Christina. Christina Christ says value is non-negotiable. That's so real.
Right.
Like a lot of us as poets, we've done exactly what you said. I've done it plenty of times where I have a set price and, oh, well, we can't afford that. And you know what? I'll take this. I'm just happy that you thought of me, until I saw that on the same platform you paid this rapper and this singer, you had enough for them. So what makes their art any more valuable than mine?
Yeah.
You know, so I had to learn my worth.
Yeah, that was difficult for me, you know, really being able to stand on things. And for the longest, I was so hesitant because I was like, well, you know, people are going to think I'm rude, and people are going to, you know, think all these negative things about me. And I had to look at the fact that feelings are fleeting and facts are facts. And when you start, and I mean this in the most humble way, I really do. When you look at a resume, when you look at a applicant's resume for a job, right? You look at you look at their experience, and you decide what you're going to pay them. You know, when you're an employer, you know, you pay them off of experience, off of education, all these things, all these skills, right? So as an artist, I have an artist resume, and baby, that thing longer than the Old Testament. So
like Diana Ross weave.
I'm telling you. So at this point, that is what you're paying for. You're paying for that experience. You're paying for that skill. You're paying for the simple fact that when I come to your show, I might be a little Lauryn Hill late. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to be Lauryn Hill late, and I'm going to be great. So that's what you're paying for. Yeah.
Oh, man. So, Jay, I'm going to ask you again, and I just snuck around and made sure that I have to do it, but I'm going to ask you again for another piece.
Okay.
But before you spit that piece, I want to know something. What do you see yourself, like, what do you see yourself doing with your brand, like in the future, like with your poetry and everything? What do you see yourself doing with this in the future?
So, honestly, where I am with poetry now, as we just stated, you know, I've had the pleasure to do some great things, some things I've never imagined. I've been in some rooms that I've never imagined, and I'm humbled by it. I truly am. And though there is more for me to do, I know that there's much more for me to do at this moment. But I do find myself transitioning to other things. Honestly, my heart will always be in poetry. My heart will always stay with writing and art. But I do find myself being curious about different avenues that now kind of have piqued my attention. And I think that eventually, I'm going to have a seat in poetry and more so look towards teaching and mentoring. I've had my time in the sun, um, so as the sun rises, it sets. So I believe that the accolades and everything that I've been able to obtain, I'm grateful for that. And I know that I got more to give. But after a little while, I think I'm going to sit back and focus on giving back, teaching, coaching, and just, guiding new poets, because especially the youth coming up now, we have to remember every child don't have a ball in their hand. And that doesn't make them less, talented and skilled. And I feel like I do have I have the knowledge and I have the experience to help shape new poets. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about, taking people under my wing and, putting them in rooms and being what I was given, what I was gifted, that guidance. So after a little while, that's what I'm gonna go into.
Now, your poetic offspring are gonna be so dope. Like those youth, lucky enough, man, it's gonna be dope. Like I can imagine because I've seen the energy you've had with the youth. When you invited me to the library on Broadway.
Yes.
And it was like I saw how they just like gravitated to you. Even the kids that some people were like just written off, like they're not here for nothing. They just getting away. Man, everybody just gravitated towards you. And I can just imagine those children soaking up everything that you have to give and then unleashing. Like, I think they'll be the ones to help heal our city, man.
Most definitely. This new generation, we say so many things about, but honestly, I feel like this new generation is exactly what we are going to need in order for people of color, in order for this world to shift and for us to become all that we're supposed to become. Because let me tell you, they're resilient. They're not scared of nothing. Sometimes that's the scary part, the fact that they're not scared of anything. But they're risk takers. If you look at the statistics on entrepreneurship now and whatnot, and the way these children operate, like, man, these children not keeping jobs no more, for 10 years and 20 years and trying to retire in that, like, they're really making their own paths. They're paving their own ways. And I believe that's exactly what we need. But if we, because I'm there now, it is still our responsibility to feed them, and to give them what we needed so desperately, and to not ridicule them for being different than us, because hell, honestly, they're not much different than us.
Really not, man. It's like really not.
They are bold. They are quite bold. So I can't wait for that day. The offspring shall be the offspring, So
we're actually in those seats now. Like we unc and auntie. Like
listen,
man,
I just my oldest nephew just graduated yesterday. Shout out to him. Um, and when he called me, I for a minute it kind of made me a little emotional because I was just thinking like you are really like we have to share you with the world, and you you know we hear that term all the time, the children are the future. And it's like, no, the children are the present now. The children are not children anymore. And
Children no more.
yes, and they are really, really, they're in charge, you know? So um, that makes me anxious, but it also makes me very excited, and it makes me realize my place in the world and what I should be doing, which is why um, I've really been curious about the other avenues that I plan to take in the future.
That's what's up, man. So what we're getting ready to do, we're getting ready to enjoy one more piece from you. And then when you come back from spitting that piece, I want you to let everybody know where they can find you, how they can follow you. You can repeat any upcoming shows, anything of that nature. Keynote say she feel the same way because mentors are important. That's another dope artist right there. If y'all haven't linked yet, I hope y'all do.
Who is that?
Keynotes.
Okay.
Yeah, if y'all have not linked yet, oh man, her energy is unmatched. Like this. There's only one Keynotes, man. I love her to death.
Okay. Well, I look forward to meeting her.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, we're gonna turn the mic over to you one more time, Miss Jerica J. Franklin, family of the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge. Here she is once again.
So this poem is for Black girls, told they don't smile enough, told we're too pretty to look so ugly, asked who pissed you off now. I wonder how long it's gonna take for life to give Black girls an apology, if not reparations. I wonder how long will it take for the world to love us without labeling us as difficult, as problematic, as argumentative? You bitter Black bitches, you never said it, but you meant it. Black girl, why aren't you smiling? Because every time a Black girl smiles, the sun shines upon her face, yet the gaps open the gates for hell to enter and heaven to escape. And life be like you must want the smoke today. Evoking emotions that make it hard to focus on the days when life was easy or fair. Girls like us ain't that familiar with such. We're more familiar with rain than rainbows, more pro at survival than living, memories rooted in more abuse than bliss. And ain't that a bitch? Black girl, why aren't you smiling? Because we're busy suffering silently. I'm sorry, not more of us are multitaskers, still carrying broken pieces in a body made of alabaster, trying not to birth a bastard like the bastard who made me a bastard. We've got too much work to do. I'm sorry, Black girls don't smile enough for you. We're busy trying to breathe. We're busy trying to believe. We're busy minding our business, but still being vigilant in case a nigga out of the bushes decides to jump in it in the middle of a park. We're busy trying to keep the lights on, to keep our kids in the dark on how long or how far mommy's income can really stretch this month. Black girl, why aren't you smiling? Because the most unprotected species look a lot like Jamie, True, Shakondria, Toy, Alex, or Jay. But you want Black girl magic like somebody smiling every hour of the day, despite anxiety. And God knows we're trying our best. A question. Have you heard a Black girl's laugh yet? Don't it sound like her and her homegirl are in perfect harmony in the midst of their horror stories? Don't it sound like joy might sit down and actually stay a while? Don't it give you Suge Avery in a field of purple lilies? No, really. Don't it sound so pretty, even when life sure is ugly? My name is Jerica J. Franklin. Thank you for your ear and thank you for your time. God bless you. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those things, YouTube at Jerica J. Franklin or Janguage Arts. That's the language with the J and arts with the Z, like my favorite rapper Jay-Z. You can find me. And for booking, you can do the same. I am a resident of Louisiana, but I'll travel anywhere you tell me to. And I think that's about it for the night program. You got anything else?
Man, I just your piece, man. You said some things in your piece that triggered me in a way, and it's like I feel like not mentioning none of her business or nobody's names, but I promise you, if I ever see him, I'm gonna get him. So we're just gonna leave that there. But I want to thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to grace us at the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge, man. It was truly an honor, man, to have you here, Jay. I miss you, fam.
Oh, I miss you too, man. Don't worry. Mountains don't meet, but people do. We will. We will.
Straight up, straight up. Well, on behalf of Louisiana Lyricist Lounge, presented by Blast Music 24/7, I am Paul Cram, the poet. That's Miss Jerica J. Franklin. And I want to say thank you all for joining us. But we out. Speak on it, poet.
Bye.